It is the small things that make a big difference. It is so easy to overestimate the importance of one defining moment and underestimate the value of making small improvements on daily basis. Too often, we convince ourselves that massive success requires massive action, whether it is losing weight, building a business, writing a book, winning a championship, or even any other goal. We put pressure on ourselves to make some earth shattering improvement that everyone will talk about. Meanwhile, improving by 1% is not particularly notable. Sometimes it is not even noticeable, but it can be far more meaningful, especially in the long run. The difference a tiny improvement can make over time is astounding. Habits are compound interest of self-improvement. The same way that money multiplies through compound interest, the effects of your habits multiply as you repeat them. They seem to make the little difference on any given day, and yet the impact they deliver over the months and years can be enormous. It is only when looking back to 5 or perhaps 10 years later that we value of good habits and the cost of bad ones becomes strikingly apparent. This can be a difficult concept to appreciate in daily life. We often dismiss small changes because they don't seem to matter very much in the moment. If you save a little money now, you are still not a millionaire. If you go to the gym 3 days in a row, you are still out of shape. If you study German for an hour tonight, you still have not learned the language. We make few changes, but that results never seem to come quickly, and so we slide back into our previous routines. Unfortunately, the slow pace of transformation also makes it easy to let a bad habit slide. If you eat an unhealthy meal today, the scale doesn't move past so much. If you work late tonight and ignore your family, they will forgive you. If you procrastinate and put your project off until tomorrow, there will usually be time to finish it later. A single decision is easy to dismiss. But when we repeat 1% error day after day by replicating poor decisions, duplicating tiny mistakes, and rationalizing little excuses, our small choices compound into toxic results. It is the accumulation of many steps, a 1% decline here and there, that eventually leads to a problem. The impact created by a change in our habits is similar to the effect of shifting the route of an airplane by just a few degrees. Imagine you are flying from city 1 to city 2, which is quite a distance apart. If a pilot leaving from first city adjusts the heading just by few degrees, you will land far away from the city number 2. Such a small change is barely noticeable at takeoff. The nose of the airplane moves just a few feet, but when magnified across the country, you end up hundreds of miles apart. Similarly, a slight change in your daily habits can guide your life to a very different destination. Success is the product of daily habits, not once in a lifetime transformations. That said, it doesn't matter how successful or unsuccessful you are right now. What matters is whether your habits are putting you on the path towards success. You should be far concerned with your current trajectory than with your current results. If you are a millionaire but you spend more than you earn each month, then you are on a bad trajectory. If your spending habits don't change, it is not going to end well. Conversely, if you are broke but you save a little bit every month, then you are on the path towards financial freedom, even if you are moving slower than you would like. Your outcomes, they are lagging measure of your habits. Your net worth is a lagging measure of your financial habits. Your weight is a lagging measure of your eating habits. Your knowledge is a lagging measure of your learning habits. Your clutter is a lagging measure of your cleaning habits. You get what you repeat. If you want to predict where you will end up in life, all you have to do is follow the curve of tiny gains or tiny losses and see how your daily choices will compound 10 or 20 years down the line. Are you spending less than you earn each month? Are you making it into the gym each week? Are you reading books and learning something new each day? Tiny battles like these are the ones that will define your future self. Time magnifies the margin between success and failure. It will multiply whatever you feed it. Good habits make time your ally. Bad habits make time your enemy. Habits are a double-edged sword. Bad habits can cut you down just as easily as good habits can build you up, which is why understanding the details is crucial. You need to know how bad habits work and how to design them to your liking so you can avoid the dangerous half of the plate. Breakthrough moments are often the result of many previous actions which build up the potential required to unleash a major change. This pattern shows everywhere. Cancer spends 80% of its life undetectable, then takes over the body in months. Bamboo can barely be seen for the first 5 years as it builds extensively root system underground before exploding 90 feet into the air within 6 weeks. Similarly, bad habits often appear to make no difference until you cross a critical threshold and unlock a new level of performance. You expect to make progress in a linear fashion, and it is frustrating how ineffective changes can seem during the first few days or first few weeks and even months. It doesn't feel like you are going anywhere. It is hallmark of any compounding process. The most powerful outcomes are delayed. This is one of the core reasons why it is so hard to build habits that last. People make few small changes, fail to see a tangible result and decide to stop. You think, I have been running every day for a month, so why can't I see any change in my body? Once this kind of thinking takes over, it is easy to let good habits fall by wayside. But in order to make a meaningful difference, habits need to persist long enough. Now, the mastery requires patience. When nothing seems to help, I go and look at a stone cutter hammering away at his rock, perhaps 100 times, without as much a crack showing in it. Yet at the 101st blow, it will split it into two. And I know it was not the last blow that did it, but all that had gone before. All the big things come from small beginnings. The seed of every habit is a single tiny decision. But as the decision is repeated, a habit sprouts and grows stronger. Roots entrench themselves and the branches grow. The task of breaking a bad habit is like uprooting a powerful oak within us, and the task of building a good habit is like cultivating a delicate flower one day at a time. One more thing is, that is, generally we emphasize too much on the goals, but I would say that is once you have set the goals, now our focus more should be on the systems instead. Prevailing wisdom claims that the best way to achieve what we want in life, getting into better shape, building a successful business, relaxing more and worrying less, spending more time with friends and family, is to set specific actionable goals. So this is generally that is how it is taught to us. But you know, that is, every Olympian wants to win a gold medal, every candidate wants to get the job, and if successful and unsuccessful people share the same goals, then the goal cannot be what differentiates the winners from the losers. It was only when a system of continuous and small improvements is implemented that we achieve a different outcome. Imagine you have a messy room and you set a goal to clean it. If you summon the energy to tidy up, then you will have a clean room for now. But if you maintain the same sloppy habits that led to a messy room in the first place, soon you will be looking at a new pile of clutter and hoping for another burst of motivation. You are left chasing the same outcome because you never changed the system behind it. You treated a system without addressing the cause. So, goals are okay, but focus on the systems instead.